Hello everyone. In this video, we are doing the fifth maths lab activity. It is based on the inverse variation. What is the aim of the activity? It is to show the relation between two quantities x and y, which vary inversely using a graph sheet of same number of unit squares, that is 36 squares. What is the pre-acquired knowledge? I need to know how to identify the number of rows and columns. Then the concept of calculating the product of two numbers, which I'm sure you all must be knowing. The material required, the graph sheet, scissors, pencil, ruler, glue stick, or any other adhesive you can take. Let us see the procedure. I take a graph sheet and cut and paste in the following different ways. First of all, I take the first arrangement of 36 small squares can be arranged in the form of 6 rows and 6 columns. Second way, I can do it as the 36 small squares can be arranged as 4 rows and 9 columns. Another way can be 3 rows and 12 columns to give me 36 squares. And finally, I can take it to be as 2 rows and 18 columns. I could have also taken it as 1 row and 36 columns. But again, I will not be able to show it in the graph sheet. So I have restricted myself to these 4 different ways, wherein I have 6 rows, 6 columns, 4 rows, 9 columns, 3 rows, 12 columns, and 2 rows, 18 columns. Now let me tabulate and show you what I want to observe. First case, 6 rows and 6 columns. Second case, 4 rows, 9 columns. Third case, 3 rows, 12 columns. And lastly, I have 2 rows and 18 columns. Clearly, if you observe, you can see that as the number of rows are decreasing, 6, 4, 3, 2, the number of columns is increasing, 6, 9, 12, and 18. What does it show? It shows that they are varying inversely. So how will I show it by the activity? I take the first set of 36 squares and I arrange them as 6 rows, and I am arranging it as how many? 6 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, right? So this becomes my figure 1, which is having R1 into C1 as 6 into 6, which is 36. The second way of arranging these 36 squares can be that I take 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 columns. So 4 into 9, I have 36 squares. So this becomes a figure 2, wherein R2 into C2 can be written as 4 into 9, which is 36. The third arrangement can be if I take 3 rows of how many? 12 squares each. So how many columns am I having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 columns and 1, 2, 3, 3 rows. So I'm having 3 rows and I am having 12 columns, right? So how many squares are again here? Again, there are 36 squares. This becomes figure 3, where R3 into C3 is 3 into 12, which is 36. I take the last arrangement, which I wanted to show. With 36 squares, I have taken 2 rows. And each row will be having how many squares? It's going to have 18 squares. So this way I'll be having 18 columns of 2 squares each, or I have 2 rows of 18 squares each. So I have this as figure 4 of R4 into C4 given by 2 rows into 18, that is equal to 36. So observations, let us write. What are the observations? We observe that R1 into C1, this is coming constant. This is coming constant. The product being constant, as the rows are decreasing, the number of columns are increasing. As R is decreasing, 6, 4, 3, 2. I see that C is increasing. 6, 9, 12, and 18. keeping the number of squares constant, I'm having that as the number of rows is reducing, the number of columns is increasing. So I can say that R and C are varying inversely with each other. So this is what I wanted to show. I hope this activity is clear. Please watch the video again in case you have any doubt. Thank you so much.